Hi everyone. I know it has been a very long time since I posted a video. For that I apologize because my life has been going through some changes, and I would say they're for the better. A lot of things I've had to change and stop doing to kind of get myself together, get my priorities in check. I'm sorry if you see a lot of shaking because I'm recording this from my laptop. God will bless me with better equipment in the future, but for now we're gonna deal with this. So today I wanted to give a bit of an update, but then also talk about a subject that's been weighing on my head and heart lately. But let's give a bit of a update first. My physical health is actually a lot better. As of right now, there is no cancer, any type of cancer right now in my system. I am under close watch of my 3 different blood doctors. Yes, I have 3 because that's how serious it got. My weight is very up and down. My diet is good though. I'm trying to eat much healthier. Emotionally, mentally, I put those 2 together, health-wise. It could be better. It could be better, and I say that because, like, when it comes to depression or with me, that I wouldn't bring it on myself. That it's like, oh, today I'm gonna feel depressed. Today I'm gonna feel sad. Today I'm gonna feel like just laying in my bed and not doing anything. Today I'm gonna feel like a piece of crap. Today I'm gonna feel like I'm worthless and all this other crap. Like, no, it just comes out of nowhere. And I wouldn't be thinking thoughts that would like bring these feelings on. I wouldn't be watching certain videos or reading certain blogs or articles, whatever. I'm very careful when it comes to stuff like that. It would just come out of nowhere. And then there's times where I am able to like control it, but then there's times where it would just be too much and I would get into little, not full on panic or anxiety modes, but I would just feel very overwhelmed. But what I've realized is that I've been trying to block these different emotions that I would feel, because 1, I'm scared, and 2, I realized that I don't like to feel anything because of past trauma and other things that I've been through. It was always hard for me to like really notice why I was feeling a certain way and be able to even express my feelings, because in times in the past I didn't have the opportunity to. I just had to suck it up and deal with it. And I look crazy. Sorry. Okay, back to the video. Okay. And yeah, I didn't really have the chance to be able to feel emotions. Because growing up, I feel that I had to grow up very quickly. I had to take on responsibilities at a bit of a young age. And there was moments where something would happen and I didn't really get the chance to process them emotionally and mentally to be able to react to them in the right way. Yes, that's what I'll say to that. And also, I am seeing a psychiatrist. He's a very good psychiatrist. I forget his name at the moment, so don't ask me. And one thing I realized that was like a big trigger for my depression as of late, even though I've had depression since I was like 12, one thing that has been a trigger for it since recently would be the death of my mother. And that brings to the subject of the video of when I lost my parent. Now, give a little backstory here, my personal life. Me, Sorora Nicole Poindexter Brown. Yes, I have 2 middle names. I was born November 30th, 1994, Bronx, New York. Lincoln Hospital. Shout out to all my Bronx people. And I was born, well, a premature baby because my biological mother was on drugs when she was pregnant with me. Specific drug was crack cocaine. My father was also on drugs at that time, so it is obviously stated that they were not fit to be good parents for me. And so I was born like, I don't even know how many pounds. I was just like a tiny little thing. I was really like the size of my hand, like the size of my hand. I was that tiny. But my grandmother, my biological grandmother, Ruth Poindexter, hence where I get one of my middle names from, she would have taken me in, but she had my other siblings and she didn't have room. And so that's when my mom, the one that raised me, her name is Beatrice Brown, she stepped in to take care of me. And she literally saved my life. When I was younger, I remember my mom just being like, I just thought she was like the strongest woman ever. I thought she was Superwoman. She was my superhero. And graduated high school when I was 18. What the heck? When I was 18, no, 17, I'm sorry. When I was 17 going on 18. And then I found that I was adopted. And then I decided to go away to college in 2013, a year after I graduated, to University of Bridgeport. And at that time, my mom had been admitted to the hospital, and that's when her health like really started declining from there. She was like in and out of the hospital, in and out of rehab centers. It was really bad. It was really exhausting for her, which I felt bad about. And yes, so I was dorming in University of Bridgeport. Those of you that don't know, that's in Connecticut. And from going back and forth like every few weeks, I was going back and forth like every weekend. My mom, she would like, for what my other family members would tell me, for what doctors and nurses would tell me, she would call out my name when she was in pain. She would call out my name and she would call out one of my other brother's names. Those were the only two names she would call out. Those were the only two people she would want to see, she would want to talk to, that she would want to deal with when she was lying in her hospital bed. She would call me all the time to ask me how I'm doing, like when am I coming to see you? When am I coming to see her? And so it went from me going there like every weekend, and being I'm in college, I was missing a lot of deadlines for assignments, trying to catch up and everything, and it was just emotionally stressful. So I had to drop out of college, so I never got to finish. 2014 came around. My mom's birthday was April 6th, 2014. That year she turned 84? 84? Yeah. Yeah, because when she adopted me, she was like in her late 50s, which explains the age difference. So yeah. So yeah, in 2014 she turned like 84. I want to say like 84, 83 years old. This is probably one of my last good memories of her before she went on. And she was in Montefiore Hospital, and I was there with one of my sister-in-laws and my brother, and we got her a red velvet cake. It was red velvet, and she didn't want people knowing her age in the hospital. I mean, she looked good for her age. Black don't crack. Just saying. And so my sister-in-law had got her a question mark shaped candle, so people couldn't know her age, her real age, which I thought was hilarious. That was one of my last few memories, one of my last good memories of her. And then from there, it just went to a downward spiral. She started not being able to talk well. She wouldn't eat. And one of the only few times that she would eat is when me or or a specific other family member would help her to eat. I don't know why my nose. Yeah, and then I remember like a week. I want to say it was about like a week or so before she passed that I was there with her in the hospital room. I was there by myself with her, and I remember holding her hand and like praying to God. Well, not praying to God, I was like talking to her, hoping that she would hear me, and saying that if you want to go, you can go. If you're still in pain, you can go, because where you're going, you're not going to be in pain anymore. So it's okay. Know that I will be okay eventually when you go. And then I remember kissing her on the hand and then kissing her on the forehead. And at that point, I got really emotional. I didn't want doctors and nurses seeing me crying. And then I remember leaving and then saying that I loved her. And then May 9th of 2014, she passed away. I had found out that the hospital had called my house. My brother answered the phone, told them the news. He came into my room and told me that she had passed away. And in that moment, I was just like, I was obviously shocked, upset, but then in that moment, I remember for when I was like at her hospital bed saying that you can go if you want to. So I knew it was gonna come, but I wasn't fully prepared for it, you know. And I remember calling one of my very close friends, and she asked me if she wanted to come over. I'm like, no, it's okay. Cause it was a Friday and I had to go to church later on that day, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just see you later at church. Then I was at church. Then they made the announcement that was like, oh, keep my family in your prayers because my mother just passed away and this, that, and the other. Typical protocol when something like that happens in congregation. And then it was like probably like a few weeks later, like almost a month later, that we had her funeral. And she's buried in New Jersey in a cemetery. As I said before, that one thing that I realized is like a big not trigger, but something that is like connected to the depression I'm facing now is the death of my mother. And the fact that she wasn't even my biological mother, she was my adoptive mother, but she was the only mother I ever knew. So it hit me hard. And this is the woman that she raised me. I look to her as a role model of how to be a woman, and for other milestones I'll be able to have in the future, like me getting married, graduating from college, which I pray to God will happen one day, having kids, like buying my first house, like things like that. I would want her guidance for, and now I'm not able to get it. And the one thing that hurts me the most is when Mother's Day comes around, and the one thing that bothers me is that her, like the day she passed is always like a few days before or around the day of Mother's Day, because the actual date of Mother's Day changes every year. But it always like a few days or like very close to the actual day of Mother's Day on the calendar, and that annoys me. And somehow it always lands on a day when there's a church service. And the first like Mother's Day, like after my mom had passed away, I was in church, and I was so pissed. And I remember just putting this rant on Facebook, like, this is the worst day ever. I just want this day to be over. Like, this is horrible. And then there was people saying, like, oh, I didn't even know you felt that way. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have a mom to give presents and cards to and say that I love you and I'm grateful for you on Mother's Day. It sucks being surrounded by that. People who do have that, it's like, it's horrible. And yeah, so that's one thing I realized as like a big factor of my depression, the fact that I lost someone that is very close to me. And the one thing that I know that like that keeps me sane, I guess that's the right way to put it, like keeps me sane, like lets me know that like I am gonna be okay, is that she's in heaven with God. That when she actually passed away, she had diabetes, she had both her legs amputated. So now in heaven, I know she got her legs back and she's dancing with God and everything. And so that makes me happy. And I would just hope that I'm making her happy with this life that I'm living life, just trying to follow God with everything that I have, even if it's only a little bit. And knowing that I'm keeping on living to keep her legacy, keep her name alive. And yeah. So, and also one other thing I want to say is for like dealing with the loss of a loved one, that is never going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. That is something that will always be a part of you. That is something that is like is never going to go away. But to also don't let it like control you. Don't let it like consume you, because it will hurt you, like mentally, emotionally, even physically. I'm talking from experience that it will hurt you. But yeah, that is something that is never going to be hard to get over, but day by day you will learn to be able to somewhat cope with it. But it is a process. But God is by our side. And I say our because I'm not the only one that has lost a parent or a loved one. And knowing that God's peace will be with us, like the days when we think of a memory of them, which will usually make us sad, but it'll actually make us happy. That's the peace of God within us. That is all I wanted to talk to you guys about today, just to give you guys a little update and just talk about this, get some stuff off my chest. And yes, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will be coming up with a new video soon. I might talk about my adoption story, or I may do a song cover. If you guys want me to do specific songs, comment them below, or on my social media. Let me know what songs you want me to cover. I actually have a list already that I haven't touched yet, but I will try to do those soon. But yes, God bless you guys. Hope you have a good day.